Hello and welcome to another edition of Escape Alive. This time I have as my guest a friend of mine, Franck Robert, who is a real estate agent working in the Riviera Maya area. How's it going, Frank?
Very well, thank you. Thank you, Martin. Nice to see you again.
Oh, it's nice to see you. It's always nice to see you. So how's the weather? I've heard it's you were complaining before that it's hot.
Well, it's not exactly a complaint. I live in the Caribbean for so many years. I'm here because it's hot. But yes, it is very hot and very humid. And that's the issue is the humidity. It's so high. And we only in 5th, Cinco de Mayo, actually, the 5th of May. And it's already so hot. I just don't know how I'm going to manage to spend the summer. If I stay in Mexico, a lot of people go actually, a lot of American, Canadian go, but they just come for winter in general. And you understand why when you come here, when you spend your first summer, it's so hot and so humid and you just want to go somewhere else. So obviously American, Canadian go back to their country, most of them, and some just go somewhere else in Mexico because Mexico is huge. It's a pretty big country. They go to Mexico City, they go to the mountain, San Miguel de Allende or Chiapas, all these different areas of Mexico were cooler and nice in the mountain, which is nice, much nicer at that specific time. But that's the way it is. It's part of the package.
So tell me, what brought you to the Riviera Maya and specifically to Playa del Carmen, where you live?
Well, nothing was planned, to be honest. It just happened. I do have family in the Caribbean. My dad is in Dominican Republic for years. My sister in Guadeloupe. I spent almost 2 years in Martinique a few years ago. And I worked a little bit in Guadeloupe. Then I went back to Europe and in England, spent 12 years in England working with hotels, different aspects of hospitality, selling wine, selling different things. And I was the recession in 2009 happened. A lot of my clients did not have a budget, cut their budget anyway to almost nothing, and it was a little difficult. But then my connection, my Caribbean connection, and my family offered me a job in Saint Martin. So I moved to Saint Martin from Guadeloupe to Saint Martin. Saint Martin, I started to work for construction material, selling construction material, which is obviously different than hospitality and restaurant, hotel, but somehow is connected as well. So I had clients in restaurant, in hotel. A lot of clients obviously will own property and have to fix their aluminiums, their shutters every year. Obviously, we have a lot of hurricane in Saint Martin, almost pretty much every year. So a lot of repair. So I started talking to a lot of people. Then I started to work as well in real estate. A lot of people don't know that, but because of season, in the Caribbean, people have many jobs, sometimes 2 or 3 jobs. You do this when the cruise arrives, then it's low season, they do something else. Some people have 2, 3, 4 jobs. So I had 2 jobs. So I did real estate in one hand, construction material in the other hand, which basically work well together. I did well. I sold villas in St. Bart, in Anguilla, in St. Martin, both sides of the island, French and Dutch. It's a very strong market, but it's very through the season. So you have Thanksgiving for American to Easter, and then it's that's it. The season's over, and then you have a little bit of tourists in summer, Canadian and American, but it's not strong season. It's not really a good season. So anyway, I was doing well. I was offered to work with a hotel brand called Hilton, which with my experience in my hospitality background, they wanted sell and marketing. So I moved to a little bit in Panama, then Belize. In Belize, I did the opening of the Hilton Hotel in Ambergris by Curio, Hotel Curio by Hilton in Ambergris. And then after my 18 months contract, I decided I wanted something else because as much as Belize is nice and pretty, it's also expensive, small, and there's not many options for kids and family, and school as well was a problem. So we went to Playa del Carmen. We look at the market as well. We look at school. The cost of living was really, it's like to give you an idea, a bottle, let's say a bottle of vodka in Belize is like 60 US. The same bottle in Playa is 11 US.
Yeah.
The import tax is crazy, and pizza and food so expensive. So it was like, okay, this is not working. We love Playa, we love the music. The Mexican are very welcoming. The price cost of living is relatively good in comparison, especially for family and retiree as well. And then school is many options. So this is why we moved to Playa, and it's been almost 6 years.
Nice.
I'm flying.
Yeah. Well, and I ended up meeting you during one of my trips down.
Exactly.
And we must as well do a plug for Manny's, which is one of the great places that you have to go and visit if you
It's
are
so
in
many
Playa.
Playa is very. I like Playa because it's very international.
Yes.
In Belize, it was very Texas. It's like
Mm.
5,000 Texan register in Belize in Hamburgiski. So it's like all the American food from Houston and Dallas. It's right there. It's great, but it's not enough mix. It's not enough variety. It's too much one way. And I wanted, as a European, as a French person, I wanted a little bit of French food, Italian food, German food, a little bit of everything. And
And
players,
that you can definitely find in Playa.
oh yeah, you got
Yeah.
everything. More than some other area of Mexico. I just want to say that Riviera Maya is very different than the rest of Mexico. Riviera Maya is safer. It has a strong economy. It's very touristic. It's also very busy. It's not like you're going to Chiapas or Mexico City. This is the real Mexico. In here is very touristic. Mexico is almost like the French Riviera in south of France. It's very similar, like the French Riviera in France. The Côte d'Azur is a little bit different than the rest of France. It's a little the same. So here it's very international, very cosmopolitan, and you like it or not. Some people don't like it because it's too busy, too much traffic. It's very busy, especially after COVID. Just after COVID, it's been crazy. We have more people than before. A lot of countries are recovering, are still having issue with traveling. So it's just easy. You go to Mexico, there's no control, pretty much no PCR test. You get in, it's just so simple. So it's brilliant. So that's why it's so busy, and that's why the real estate market's crazy. The hotel are busy. I've got the number: 85% of Tulum hotel were fully booked during Easter, between the season between New Year, Christmas to basically Easter. So it's a very strong market. That's what I try to say.
Well, that's very good to know. So for someone who's never been to the Riviera Maya, could you explain to me I know there's a number of different cities, some of which I've visited, some I haven't, but can you give a bit of an overview of the different types of experiences someone could have there?
Sure. So let's start with the Yucatan. When you arrive in Cancun, you have the Yucatan on the north side, which is Merida and Progreso. It's very conservative. It's very secure. It's very safe state. A lot of police. It's also very beautiful and undeveloped. It's also very hot in summer. Again, very hot, even hotter than here. So that's why a lot of people from Merida come here. Then you have Old Bosch, which is beautiful. It's a bit like Belize 20 years before. So you have the sand road, everybody on golf carts. You have sunrise, sunset, beautiful beach, which you don't have on the Riviera Maya because it's East Coast. You only have sunrise. Sunset, you can have it as well, but it's at the back, beyond the forest. So it's a little different experience. So Old Bosch is beautiful. Isla Cancun, up north, Playa Mujer is beautiful as well. It's a little different. If you go to Playa Mujer, Isla Mujer, and Old Bosch is it's quite commercial, quite busy, but also quite small. Some people love it, but some people complain because it's too much traffic. Kind of like Cancun. Cancun is very busy, but Cancun is a bit like Miami. So if you love Miami, but you cannot afford Miami, you go to Cancun, you got the same feel. It's obviously very Latino, but 30, maybe 40% cheaper. You have the high scale building by the water. You have the beautiful view of the oceans and the lagoon at the back, but also it's relatively more expensive than the rest. It's very built up, a lot of traffic. So it's very American Miami style. So if you like that style, like during COVID, we have a lot of American from New York who love that style. But then you have a different type of area of US. They didn't like it because they didn't see the point to leave, let's say Miami to come to Cancun. So I don't know. It's everybody has a different idea of what they want to do. Then you
I
go down Puerto
Sorry,
Morelos.
I was just going to say before I was when I was speaking with another friend of mine who actually lives in Cancun. He also mentioned that it's really two cities. There's sort of the tourist zone,
Yes.
which is I guess similar to Miami, and then there's the actual Cancun where the Mexicans live, which is more of
The
a
local Mexican live at the
yeah,
back. Yes, 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 yes.
exactly, away from all the beaches and the wonderful beaches and the water there. Okay, good. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Cancun just did 52 years as a city, so it's still a young city. It's expanding a lot. It has over 1 million people living in Cancun now, so it's becoming quite big. And then you follow the carretera, so the federal, you down the east coast, you end up in Puerto Morelos. Puerto Morelos is beautiful. It's like a small village. You still have the same style as a small village, but it's very long. It's a long stretch. You have the north and the south of Puerto Morelos because it's the beach and it's the mangrove. So it's a long stretch. It's no many place to build up except if you go up north and go down south because it's no enough land, which basically means the price of real estate is very expensive. But that's also why it's limited to build too much, and this is why it still remained a little village style. Not like Playa. Playa is but 30 minutes down Puerto Morelos, and Playa is much more built up, much more commercial. It's opposite Cozumel. It's busy, but you have both the local area, like Cancun, and obviously the very touristic area as well. I like Playa del Carmen because it's very international, like we discussed. You have obviously all the European restaurants and bars, and also American and Canadians and Quebecois as well. So you have a mix of everything, and also for families, great, because one thing a lot of people forget is every time they go shopping, they need to go shopping. They often come to Playa because Playa has pretty much everything. If you're in Tulum, you drive to Playa, and if you're in Puerto Morelos, you can drive to Playa or Cancun to get what you want. And so being in Playa for us as a family is great. It's cost effective and also is great for school, and you have both expensive and cheap food or restaurants, and it's international. That's and then you can continue. You have obviously Akumal, you have Tulum, which is very busy, very touristic, very expensive, right on the beach. Downtown is a little bit better, but also it's crazy. So much construction. It's incredible. I've been driving to Tulum for five and a half years every week, almost every week. It's just incredible how fast the city change. Every week you have a new road, you have new building, new project. Real estate is incredible. This is a little bit of issue with infrastructure because the city is growing too fast. So the water pressure, internet, even the signal, the mobile phone signal, it's very hard to always be connected with electricity, water, internet, everything else. Some areas are very well served and some areas have a lot of issues. And there's also a lot of generator because it's power cut as well. Obviously, a lot of people don't talk about this, but that's reality. It's busy, expanding too fast, and the infrastructure struggling to catch up. It's reality. It's unfortunately the issue there. Then if you keep going down, you reach 3-4 hour drive from Cancun, then you arrive in Bacalar. Bacalar is beautiful. It's a lake. It's 7 blue color lagoon. It's fantastic. It's a lot of construction happened there. You have Mahawal, then you have Belize. But Bacalar and Mahawal is booming. It's really crazy the number of construction and projects happening there. But it's still cheaper than Tulum or Playa del Carmen or Puerto Morelos because it's 4 hour away, 4 hour drive down south, and it's a lot of land available, and it's not moving as fast as the rest of the Riviera Maya. The Riviera Maya is very moving fast. Is very touristic, especially since COVID. After COVID, during COVID, and after COVID, a lot of people in the rental market say they haven't been so busy because obviously people came to not run for a week or two. Like before COVID, they were only coming for sometimes 3 days in Playa, 3 days in Tulum, 2 days in Bacala, or 2 days in Olbosch. So it was a very fast movement of tourists, and it was very competitive. Since COVID, people come for a month, 2 months, 6 months, especially the Canadian with everything what happened in Canada regarding COVID. They come 6 months. It's a lot of family here. They just want to escape, and they come here. So the rental market is a little saturated because it's instead of the property to be free after a week or two, property is sometimes booked for 6 months. And because of that, the rental market is higher. Let's say 3-4 bedroom house before was probably around 25,000 pesos. Now is going up to 50,000 pesos for the same thing. Just because it's not enough houses, 4 bedroom, number one, is a lot of condos, maybe a little too many condos, not enough villas, and it's a lot of demands and a lot of people coming and try to escape COVID and after war of COVID. And the problem.
So I heard as well that there's, in terms of infrastructure, there's a new airport that will be opening up in Tulum soon.
Yes. Well, the airport's moving. Obviously, you have Mexican who are supporting it, and you have Mexican who are not supporting it because they try to keep a balance between the eco green life basically, and try to protect animals and obviously cenotes and pyramids, ruins of Mayan, which is completely understandable, but it's also progress. It's hard to stop it. So it's moving fast, but it's apparently moving. It's apparently happening. It's been stopped many times. I have to be honest. It's been stopped. Like they talk about it in 79, in 2000, 2010. Apparently, the next 2 years is supposed to open. I have recently released article via my groups, my page, my network about it. It's moving forward and it's happening. The Tren Maya is a different story. It's been a lot of issues, a lot of farmers and Mexican who are complaining about it. And also, you need to understand, there's a lot of cenotes all over. So when you start to build the train and you start to put it, you elevate, for example, the train, you have to build a very strong foundation. And some of the foundation goes straight through cenotes. So, and cenotes are all connected to the sea, all undercurrent river who goes to the sea. So it's created a lot of issues. And the cost as well keep doubling every couple of months because it's getting very expensive. So the airport's definitely, I think, happening is in a good way, and it should be a good thing for Tulum. The Tren Maya might take a little longer.
Yeah, I think as well. I don't know if it was you who sent me the article, or I read somewhere that the international airport at Cancun was the second busiest in the world last year. Is that correct?
It was because obviously a lot of countries were closed, and a lot of countries had a lot of different type of rules and regulation to enter the country. So it's easy to go to Cancun, and that's what happened. So yes, it was, I think, the busiest airport in the world, to be honest, at least for that the planet.
And I mean, in any case, with the increased popularity of the area, I think a second airport is almost needed. If anything else, just to take some of the strain off the highway.
Well, a lot of people in Cancun blocked it before because it has taken away business from people living in Cancun.
Yeah.
But I think they have no choice because it's just growing too much. They own a Terminal 5. and still a lot of traffic. It takes a long time now to drive buses or rent a car from Cancun Airport to Tulum because there's a lot of traffic, a lot of congestion. So they're expanding the road. They're going to 3 lines. They're even apparently doing a parallel road for the heavy traffic, like truck and buses, because sometimes with different speed limit is issues crossing the Tulum and Playa del Carmen.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes sense to have an airport in Tulum, I have to say.
Yeah. Good. No, excellent
All
to know.
very good. Just try to
Yeah.
keep a balance between environments and bringing the money to Mexico.
Well, obviously, because part of the reason why people go there is just how beautiful it is. So you don't want
Exactly.
to destroy that, do you?
You don't want to spoil it, but yes,
Yeah.
you want to. Yes.
Interesting. So tell me, what would you say, seeing that you're at with Property Squares, so you sell real estate. What would you say are your top 5 reasons that someone should want to invest in the Riviera Maya?
Right. So before I go to this, I just wanted to say my specialty. I sold a lot of villas, and I specialized the last few years in hotel real estate investment for a couple of reasons. The first reason is issues with title land, and is issue with Erido land as well. A lot of American and Canadian get confused when they come in Mexico. They want to buy your land. They say no problem. They give you an escritura, but at the end of the day, an escritura is like a birth certificate. So every time you want to get a birth certificate, you get a birth certificate, but that's a copy of the old one. But in order to own the property, you need the original birth certificate or the registration at of the baby. That's the step. So you need it title, and it's very complicated and very difficult to get title land, especially the last couple of years. They stop or slow down a lot of area with title land, especially on Erido land. So this is why I specialize with hotel and developments, very well known, good company, Mexican or American company who do construction here, because it's been a lot of issue. And also by selling new, you don't go through all the problem with is lien against the property because they haven't paid some taxes, like I mentioned at the beginning. A lot of owners own land here, condos, apartment houses, but then they don't know exactly how to pay the Mexican taxes. Then they get in trouble, and when they try to sell, they get blocked. So the resale can take weeks, months, a year even, and that's not something you want. So this is why my specialty is to sell new within development within hotel. What I mean by hotel is not timeshare. It's full ownership. You have the title. This is your property. But then you have 2 choices. You're putting on a rental pool, so the hotel managing it for you, or you keep it for yourself. You're not really bothered too much about the ROI. You just want to have a place to come every 6 months, for example, and the place to be safe and well maintained and having a lot of amenities. Because when you buy through your developments with managed like an hotel, let's say, you have securities, you have garden, you have pools, you have a lot of amenities, which is a great place to go in vacation or even to stay. And also it's easy to rent. When you're not here, you want to surround the place. It will be a check-in, check-out. Some place you can put it on Airbnb, some place you cannot. But some places have their own management, but they will still do the same thing as a Airbnb or hotel. They will do the check-in, the check-out. They will clean the apartments. They will change the bed. They will put flowers. They will do everything. Of course, everything has a cost, but they will take care of everything. And a lot of American and Canadian come here to buy because they want hand-free. They want hassle-free. They want to deal with the all different issues of an apartment, taxes, bills, changing the light bulb, changing the furniture. They don't want to deal with a lot of that. So when you invest within a development, often it's condo, apartments for sure, but when you invest with them, they take care of everything. When you go on vacation, they even come and pick you up on a coach or on a small bus. if you have a big family and a lot of luggage. So it's a win-win for everybody. But of course, it has little cost. Is a cost involved, which is a bit less return on investment, a bit less ROI, but it has a lot of amenities which basically make it very popular for tourists and make it as well very highly rentable. So that's what a lot of people want. Also, the names has value. So, for example, if you buy a condo development within Hilton, within Marriott, Wyndham, or different type of big names, the name has value, and when you resell, you have relatively good equity, especially if you are buying pre-construction, pre-sale. You keep it for 2 to 3 years, you sell it over just about 3 years, you made a little bit of ROI, you made about 20-25% pre-value over the 2 to 3 years. So you can sell for about 30% return after 3 years. So you spend time in a new building, you enjoy your amenities, you make a little bit of ROI,
Mhm.
then you resell, you cash in 25%, 20 to 25% equity over the 2 to 3 years you own the property, and you have no problem with bills or loans, liens, sorry, against the property or issue, because everything was paid for properly, everything was maintained properly, and there's no problem. So that's my specialty. Some
Okay.
people have their own specialty. Real estate people are selling land or selling different things. This is my specialty because it's a lot of issues with finding the land was properly titled, number one, finding if there's no issue with the land, because there's no title search and there's no title survey in many places around the area of the Riviera Maya. So it's very difficult to get guarantees no issue with your land.
Mm.
If people do the job properly, it should be, but it's not often. It's not the reality, and there's no MLS as well here, so that creates a little bit of as well a little problems. It's
Mhm.
no, you don't need to have a license to sell real estate as well. So it's a lot of people who would sell anything and nothing. They can even selling you 3 times the same property. So you
Yeah.
do need to do your job properly. You do need to check the real estate company. You do need to check a good notary with a good um, they've been reference. They've been people
Yeah.
say they're very good people and they do their job properly. You need also a good lawyer. Have a couple of good lawyers as well. When you have everything sorted, it's easy. It's very easy, and it's not a problem. You enjoy. You making money. You selling. You checking. You're getting the money for you as well. So it's a very easy, safe investment, but you need to tick all the boxes. So that's all I wanted to say to start.
Oh, no, 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 it's very good because that reminds me that there also is some law that you can't actually, as a foreigner, own property in Mexico in certain areas near to the coast and the border.
Well,
So so
that's a
I'm
law. Yes, it's not like this anymore for many years. But
okay,
you just need to buy through a fideicomiso, which is a trust. So
okay.
you cost $2,000, then it's about $500 a year to maintain the trust. The bank only hold the paperwork, but they don't own anything. They're not in charge of the income. They're not in charge of the issues with unpaid bills. They not do anything like this. You completely own the property. It's yours 100%. So you have the benefit, and obviously the problem will go with it. But the banks not, they're just holding the paper. That's all. Like, that's all they do pretty much. But you can have, yes, you can have. No problem to invest, no problem to own, and the benefit of the trust is you can give your kids, your family, the right to use it, especially when if you're certain age and you don't want to pay obviously the cost of passing through
Yeah, inheritance taxes.
inheritance. Yes, sorry.
Oh, no, no worries.
So yeah, you don't have any returns to pay because you can basically put the beneficiary directly on the trust as you purchase. You can do that as well.
Yeah. Well, that
So
that's an extra big point, and obviously too, with the banks and the notaries being involved, you can be sure that it's actually going to be dealing with an actual deeded property and avoid a lot of the other problems as well.
yeah, I mean,
So
if you buy with a big development company and also with an hotel, development backup by, let's say, the Hilton, they do things properly. They don't
Yeah.
want bad press. They don't want issues with lawyer and notary. They don't want any of this. Everything is set for you. You arrive, they tell you where to put the money, they tell you where to you sign the paper. They have everything lined up for you, and it's easy. And that's what you want. You don't want to be worried about did I buy the right things? Is it the right price, or is your problem already with unpaid bills or whatever, or issue with the property? No, it's normally 200% clear. So that's why I mostly do.
Excellent. Well, good.
Sinon, sorry,
No, no
I
one.
want also to talk about development and infrastructure. Is a lot of condominium in Playa del Carmen and Tulum. Obviously, it's very popular for the baby boomer and the American Canadian who just want to spend the winter. It is a big demand, and it's still a lot of construction here. The problem is just very competitive. Airbnb changed the rules as well recently is with the tax, is an extra tax,
Yeah.
tax to pay because hotels were struggling to compete with Airbnb. A hotel, big hotel, not all inclusive, but normal small boutique hotel were struggling against Airbnb because they have a lot of charges and costs, while Airbnb doesn't. So it was an unfair competition, and so they rectified that by putting extra tax on Airbnb. So as an owner, obviously, it's not very good news, but it's I think it's also fair, especially with so much construction. It's still so much construction and still so much condo. It's hard to put your place up front to make yourself look better than everybody else because you're so many. Which bring to the topic of resale. Resale is a big problem as well because yes, you can buy cash. It's mostly cash actually. They don't really do loan. Or
Hmm.
for an American, European, it's hard to get a loan. It can take 6 months to get a no after all the paperwork, including the cost of translating all documents from English to Spanish, and even with deposit of certain amounts of money to make sure basically you have no problem with paying, you still can get no after 6 months to 8 months. Cannot give you an exact timeline, but it can take a long time. And also the loan, the cost of the loan is very expensive. You're talking about 19-20%. It goes from 12 to 20%, depending on what you want to buy, depending on how much you put down. So it's not the best things to do. You better buy cash, and also is some developments, especially pre-construction, where basically would spread your payments. So let's say they're supposed to be in May 2022. They're supposed to deliver by spring 2024 or 2025. They would say, okay, you put 20% down now. 3 months later, another 20%, and then 6 months later, another 20%. So you can spread payments till the delivery, till you get the key in your hand. So it's probably the best things to do. Also, you're paying pre-construction, pre-sale, so you have the best deal. And sometimes even you can get an extra discount on buying cash. If you put a little bit more cash, you get a little more discount. So it's a lot of advantages to not getting mortgage or loan, especially in Mexico, and just buy cash.
Excellent. Good.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
That was about the development. So resale is a little bit of a problem because just to finish this topic, because there's a lot of condos on the market. Is a lot of competition with Airbnb. So that's again my advice. Buy with a well-known developer or well-known hotel, condo, hotel will have a good name. It's easier. The pre-value is stronger, and it's easy to resell. And that would be my advice. And because there's so much development and also, for example, in Tulum, the infrastructure is struggling to follow up with the construction because it's just so much construction. So you want to make sure you buy in the best area at the best price and and also be able to resell, because a lot of people don't think this way. I don't want to resell. I'm not buying to resell. Yeah, I know. But if something happened, if you need cash now, if you need a cash within 6 months, and you want to resell now, you're going to have to sacrifice your your profit in order to sell fast, and that's not something you want to do.
Yeah, no, and I think it's a good point as well, going with the sort of major hotel chains and buying into their developments, that they tend to be in the better locations as well, which you might not necessarily know until you've been there for a while, especially
Mhm.
with how much growth is happening.
Yeah.
Because I know
Oh,
they're building things just all over the place.
yeah, when you arrive in Tulum, you will see, it will be sign all over the road. It'll be like 20 to 30, 40 developments. Then in the street, is flyers everywhere about different developments. Then you go to a bar for a drink. Everybody's selling real estate, and everybody's selling different type of real estate. So you just end up being very confused where to buy and where to put your money. And a
Yeah.
lot of American and Canadian go there and they love it, but then they don't know what to do. And then people don't know what to do, they don't buy. And that's often what happens. So that's
Yeah,
one
no, no,
special
it's
that
yeah,
type of.
I know exactly what you mean. A friend of mine was in Mexico at the same time in March when I was visiting in Tulum. I had no idea. And we both came back and we started talking. He said, "Yeah, I'm thinking of buying land. I'm buying a condo there." And it's just like it's everywhere and it's everyone.
Yes,
But
yes. Well,
but I mean,
an
sorry.
area to look for is the Coba Road. So you have the east side of the coastline of Tulum, which now is some area above $400 per square meter, $500 per square meter, $600 per square meter. Then you use Coba Road. So Coba has the pyramid of Coba. You have all the cenotes of the Coba Road as well. They call it the Magic Road. And then you have a lot of developments were going there. They used to start at about $100 per square meter, but now they're going slowly but nicely, because obviously it's a bit away from Tulum. So that's why it take a little longer to catch up. But it's going to $300 per square meter already. So
Yeah.
it's a nice area to look at. That would be my advice for this Tulum area. And still, you only 15, 20-minute drive to Tulum, the beautiful Tulum beach. So it's not exactly too far away. So it's a nice little drive. And in Playa del Carmen, it's the same. A lot of new developments are beyond the Federal, which take about 10-minute drive to get to the beach. So unless you have more money, then you want to buy right on the beach, but then that can be quite pricey.
No, no, obviously,
Yes.
obviously.
Location, 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 like everywhere.
That that's the game in real estate, isn't it?
Yes, yes. So I didn't exactly do the 5 point reason why.
No,
I'm
no.
happy to send it to you by email. The 5 reason why, but that's the main important things I wanted to get across.
No, no, it's good. And what would you I'm just trying to think, is there any what area do you think would be the best up and coming area looking into the future?
Well, Koba, I will go for Koba, but that's not the beach. That's a little bit away from the beach, 15, 20-minute drive away from the beach. But then if you're really looking at the beach, you can go down south to Mahawal. Bacalar Mahawal has some nice beaches. You cannot really find a spot in between Tulum and Bacalar, because it's a big lagoon, and
Yeah.
it's also mangrove. So unfortunately, it's not really space to be by the sea on that specific area. Or you go up north when you arrive in Cancun, northwest. Like I mentioned at the beginning, you have Yucatan area, Progreso, Merida. It has a lot of small town by the beach where you can still manage to get some nice property. Little bit away, so it will be maybe 2 hour drive from Cancun.
Mhm.
And a lot of small villages where you can pick up some nice property, but I don't really cover this area. And it will be more a one-to-one process with land and developing the land itself, or buying a resale
Yeah.
which the problem you can have with resale. Remember, it's still part of the Rideau land, it's part of the farmer land. You're not
Yeah.
supposed to buy, but if the development company does the work properly, everything is titled properly, then it's not a problem, then it's safe.
No, it's
So,
good.
so,
No,
so you have an area which is beyond El Cuyo and beyond Rio Lagartos up to Progresos, all this coastline. The market will explode in some point because there's no more land really, and
yeah.
everything is taken by hotels, big hotels and big cities who keep expanding.
No, I really noticed that when I was back after being away for 3, 4 years, that Playa del Carmen seemed twice the size of what I remembered it.
Mm-hmm. It was in the Guinness Book of record of fastest growing city in the world. 26% grow in 1 year. That was in 2018, if I
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
So, and I'm pretty sure it's about the same now, probably even more.
Yeah, I mean, it's still not that big because I know when I came in, I ended up taking a Colectivo, and
Uh-huh.
the stop that used to be right now down near Fifth Avenue, which is the big in Playa del Carmen. It's the big sort of touristy commercial pedestrian mall, basically.
Yes, yes.
It moved up to the other side, north, I guess, or I guess it'd be west of the highway, the federal highway. But even then, it was a 20-minute walk.
La Quinta in
It's
Playa del Carmen start from the ferry who goes to Cozumel and go up north till Esmeralda, Playa Esmeralda, which is near an hotel, Paradisius Hotel, and is about 120 straight. So it's a very long stretch of one road, one touristic, with a lot of bars and restaurants and shops. We started to expand some time ago before I arrived, obviously, from the, let's say, point zero, which is the beginning of the street where you go to the ferry to Cozumel. It went up to 34 and then 38 and then 46. Now we're in about 52, we're kind of halfway through. So you still a lot of growth on the north side of Quinta for development. So it's still not too late, but it's true, is a lot of developments.
And just to give people an idea, what kind of price range are you looking at these days in terms of a villa versus a higher end nice condo in a newer development? Obviously, prices are going to range, but what kind of prices are people looking at?
It's hard to say because price change all the time, to be honest. Every 6 months, its price change a little bit depending on the demand. And it's been even faster than that recently, specifically in some pockets, very popular pockets. Let's say Playa Car has been very, very popular because you have the beach 10 minutes on a bicycle, and then you have the downtown 10 minutes on a bicycle. So when you're on vacation, you don't always want to take a taxi somewhere, or grab a bus. You just sometimes want to go on a bicycle or go or just walk there with your family. And so the price of 2 bedroom condo was about 185 before, and now it's about, I don't think you can find anything for less than 300. 350, I would say, even for a 2-bed apartment. Villa is a little different. Villa is not enough land, enough residence development for residents. So the few residents designed specifically for housing in safe area with they check your ID to get in, to get out.
Yeah, gated community.
Yeah, close to the sea as well, walking distance to the sea. You have Playa Car, you have Selvamar, you have few other area up north, and you talking about turnkey. If you buy new, I would say probably around 600, maybe 700. Yeah, for 3 bedroom house, new, still walking distance to the sea in that specific area. But yeah, if you want to buy the land, you're about 500 square meter, $500 per square meter at the moment in that
And that's
specific
all. And that's
again.
all in US dollars.
Yes, yeah, everything is in US dollar. Yeah, actually, most of the Caribbean are like that. Yeah, they use their local money, but it's always when you get a contract in Mexico, you got the local language, which is obviously Spanish, and then you got the English language. And if you go to different countries, different islands, is the same. In Saint Martin, it was in Dutch and in English, or in France, French and English. So you have this very long contract, like 26 pages, in both languages, but the price are always in dollar.
Yeah.
And
No, I know one time I was in Jamaica, and I think that's the only currency they use there. And as
yeah,
as a Canadian at the time, we had a
they,
terrible interest rate, so it was surprisingly expensive to go out and for anything because it was
they
all in
don't
US dollars.
have access to local money, but as a foreigner, you're not supposed to use it. Even if you have it, like I was in Cuba years ago, and then they give me change in I can't remember what the name of the money it is, but
It's a
some kind
peso,
of
I think. Yeah.
pesos. And I could not go in the shop to buy anything because they not allow you to do it. But that's the
Yeah,
way it is.
well, Cuba's a little bit of a special case, though.
Yes, yes,
Um,
indeed, indeed.
yeah, and one thing I really liked about Mexico is that yeah, generally you're better off with peso at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
the cost of living overall, from my experience of almost 14 years in the Caribbean, the cost of living is way lower than many other places because obviously it's when the island is you have to ship everything, so it's a cost of shipping, and then it's tax to pay when you arrive. Then you have to put it on a bus or
Yeah,
sorry, your truck. So it's extra cost of time and obviously money. If you stay in a mainland, like obviously Mexico or eventually not Belize because there's so much taxes that doesn't work, but some other country in Central America, let's say, it's way cheaper, and I think that's really important. A lot of people don't know that. They will see some interesting price in different islands like Dominican Republic and something other country. If they're not big enough, if they don't have enough infrastructure, they will have to import, and everything import costs a lot of money.
yeah, especially
Dominican
when they're
Puerto Rico is not too bad because they're pretty large country itself, like Jamaica, but everything else is too small to support the whole population. So everything is imported, and
yeah.
everything costs money. So
Yeah, I think another thing that struck me when I was in Mexico, well, the first time even in Playa del Carmen or in Cancun, is that a lot of the major retail, American retail, is already there as well. So there's a
yeah,
big
yeah,
Walmart, there's Sam's Clubs, there's Home Hardware, and you're getting it at basically the same price as you'd get at home. You know,
but
the
don't,
same selection. Well, it's similar prices. Obviously, there's going to be difference because of
yeah,
taxation and all that, but you're not left trying to buy everything from little mom and pop shops. Is I guess
yeah.
what I'm
No,
saying.
they have large shop and small shop.
Yeah,
They have the local shops as well who try to survive. I try to shop a lot and support them, the vegetable, the fruit, different things, because I think it's important to support the local businesses. But yeah, the overall price is way cheaper than the rest of the Caribbean. I have to say, the cost of a cleaner, let's say, or labor person or gardener is relatively cheaper as well. You do need to be on the top of it and control everything a little bit because obviously you cannot expect too much, especially if you don't pay them much. I think it's quite fair to say that, but sometimes American or Canadian have a certain expectant. You're expecting a lot. You sometimes you European as well. You have a view or as a foreigner, as a European, let's say, where this is what you expect. This is what normally it's happening in your country, and then obviously this is not your country. And you arrive in different country, you get different service at low cost, but don't expect too much.
yeah,
So sometimes you get great service, sometimes you get average service. But if you pay, like we say, if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. So pay in order to get the right service. It is true.
Yeah. No, no, true. So what would you say would be your words of wisdom for someone who was thinking of moving down there before I let you go?
You have to do your homework. Uh, you have to come. Most of buyer here, they come 2 or 3 times. They look to a different area. They talk to many people. They look at the market, and you see it. The trend is keep growing, and you want to come a few times. You want to have a feel of the market, but you don't want to wait too long as well. So you have to be, you have to find the right moments, the right balance, because price never, so far price don't go down. Even at the beginning of COVID, some people were selling a little bit at discount, like 5%, 10% discount at really the beginning of COVID, because every country panicked, especially projects were under construction because they got stopped.
Hmm.
The staff had to go home, and then developers found themselves with still having to pay I don't know, loan or money they borrow somewhere, and obviously no building. The site was left empty, and they had to sell, and they couldn't sell. So yes, some did 5-10% discount, but because it's a cash market, the 5-10% discount, you always more or less get it. Even with a strong market right now, you still get with cash, you can still get deals. It's still possible, but you do need to do your homework. The main issue here is title. Eridolant, you need to have to be sure it's titled properly. You have to have a good notary and good lawyer, which normally most of the developments and most of the hotel developments providing. They have in-house. They're selling 200 apartments, 300 apartments. They have everything lined up. So it's the safest. And then if you want to be, after the first investment, you want to be a bit more adventurous and maybe your own land, so be it. It's up to you. But
Yeah.
when you start, you want to be everything to be safe, and also you don't have any credit history in Mexico. So if you have an issue, you will not be able to borrow money, or you will not be able to do many things. So I think it's just
Hmm.
easier to start. They will open a bank account. They will help you to open a bank account as well here. They help you with the paperwork as an owner. You will get speed up regarding getting a residency if you
Yeah.
want. You can get a
Hmm.
directly a permanent residence. You need to do the 4 years, then you get permanent residence as a homeowner. Obviously, you have a different classification if you are retiree or
Yeah.
depending on what you want to do. But as a homeowner, it's easier, and the best way to do it is to invest in a safe place. I would say as safe as possible.
Yeah,
Then
no,
again,
I think that that's a really important point too, because I know that to open a Mexican bank account, you have to have at least a residency permit, if I'm not
yes.
mistaken.
No,
So,
you can temporary. You can manage to open, but you have different bank account today. Today in 2022, you have different banking system who are not a bank, but they have a credit card, and obviously you have also a lot of people here use crypto money for all the
yeah.
small payments. They
Hmm.
pay cleaners, gardener with crypto money. They also take, you have a small card, they take payments, so you can put money on the card and then give it to your employee if you have an employee or a cleaner or a gardener.
Hmm.
Uh, there's a lot of things you can do today which almost make the bank obsolete, the street bank obsolete. So it's not a really important issue, but yes, if you want to pay taxes, Mexican taxes,
Yeah.
everything in relation to tax and paperwork and administration here, it's easier. Yes, it's
Yeah.
easier.
Well, and I also think I was reading somewhere it becomes an issue in terms of utilities and paying your electricity and getting into the system, obviously.
You can go to also pay your electricity, your water.
Well, yeah, but I think you can't register it necessarily under there's all kinds of complications. Obviously, they'll always let you pay, right?
Yeah, they let
But
you pay. If you do rental, for example, that will not be under your name. It will be the name of the owner. So
yeah,
you always go and pay the bill of the owner, which basically you're renting the place. And I will advise you as well. One last thing is even renting a property is to get it notarized. So you get it notarized. It costs about 3,800 pesos, which is $190. It's a 12 months notarized rental contract, 6 to 12 months, and they can change the price. And if they don't have a good reason, they cannot ask you to leave, which unfortunately it's happened many times. People come here, they negotiate in low season, then the high season come, and then the owner want to double the rent because it's high season. So that's what they want to do. If you don't have an authorized contract, they can do it. And if you're not happy, they ask you to leave and go try to find a good value deal in the middle of the high season. It's not easy.
No, of course not.
So this is why I advise you to get it notarized. Even if it's for $190, it's not really a big deal.
Yeah. No, that's a really good point.
Yes.
Anyway, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Mark.
And hopefully we will see each other in person soon enough. But in the meantime, it's great to see you even this way.
I've got a good day to be here. You'll be back in Mexico very soon.
I hope to. Anyway, you take care, and thanks again for your time. Oh,
Okay.
one last thing. Where can people find you? I'll put all the information down in the description as well.
Yes.
But how can people find you if they're looking to get into the latest greatest Hilton development?
Well, the thing with Hilton is they don't putting on the news till it's already too late, because they associate themselves with developments, and the price pre-construction pre-sale is before they announce it to the press. When it's in the news, the price goes up 20%. So that, but they have a contract with the developments, and I'm aware of it. So I know you can enter the market, this investment with a best price, because they already have an agreement with, let's say, Hilton, Marriott, or whatever hotel. But when you're putting in a price, then obviously you can approach it directly, but you pay more money. But I always put news on my LinkedIn, on my Instagram about what's happening. But I'm not allowed to talk to give the name of the hotel who are managing the place, or the developer who manage the place, till they have themselves putting on the news, putting on a newspaper, or TV, or yes.
Of course. And can they find you under your name or under Property Square LLC on LinkedIn?
Property Square LLC, and also Franck Robert, or Franck Robert.
So FRANCK and then Robert ROBERT.
Yes.
Okay.
And you have my links. I'm on social media. I'm on Facebook as well, and Instagram and LinkedIn.
I'll make sure that I put them all down in the description if anyone is interested and would like to contact you, because we've convinced them that this is the type of property they're going to look for.
Yes, fantastic. Thank you, Martin.
Anyway, thank you so much again for your time, and I'll talk to you soon. Nice talking, Frank.